We are here at Sport Beach 2025. It is extremely hot. It is extremely packed. Super excited to be here with you, Paul.
Bonjour.
Bonjour as well. I'm Paul Ramirez from Team.
Paul Earle, co-founder of GOODLES.
And we're here to talk about GOODLES.
Yes.
Let's get started right away with the weird. I got to dig into the weird. I've read and I was doing my research. I've seen that weird is magical for GOODLES. And my question is, when did weird become a strategy for you guys? And how?
We have very intentionally set out to be different in every way from the very outset. So we love weird. We try to do things that are unusual, unexpected, bring a dash of whimsy. For a period of time at the company, my unofficial title was Chief Oh No You Didn't Officer. So we like to keep people on their toes, whether it's a packaging element or our product names, our activations. We have a dune buggy because why not? Of course we should have a dune buggy. We're a California company. And so we've set out to kind of keep people on their toes and surprise and delight from the very beginning. Quick note on weird.
Yes.
So it bothers me that the term weird has become sort of a pejorative. And weirdo is an insult. If I were to call you a weirdo, that's not a good thing.
No.
But I think weird is wonderful and magic. And
I agree.
what happens at larger companies that people were trying to take share from whom we're trying to take share, I should say, pardon the dangling participle. At large companies, they have very sophisticated testing measures that are designed to almost serve like a Clorox bleach wipe to take out all the unusual elements of new ideas. But that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
And so we lean into weird and we look for it, the good kind of weird.
I love that. Anything too weird? Almost too weird to green light, but that you wanted to, and you did anyway?
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, I mentioned earlier our true love of nomenclature and naming. So we put an inordinate amount, an irrational amount of time into naming our flavor varieties. Nothing is ever descriptive. So one of our launch products is a Parmesan Asiago. Now it's now out there as Twist My Parm, so which is much better than Parmesan Asiago. But it came this close to being called Kiss My Asiago. And I'm telling you, 11th hour, 59th minute, 59th second, it almost went to press as Kiss My Asiago. And so we're always trying to push wherever we can and have fun with the unusual.
I love that. And have you found that helps from a storytelling perspective?
Absolutely, because things that are unusual are engaging. And people love elements that are discoverable. So let me give you an example of a discoverable element. Two examples, actually. So at our big annual trade show, it's a big show called Expo West. People in the food industry probably know about it. So in our booth, we replaced the light fixtures with colanders because of course we did. We're a mac and cheese company. We like things that are unusual. So not everybody recognized that our light fixtures were colanders, but the people who did will never forget it. You know, at that same show, my co-founder, partner, our CEO, Jen Zezet, wore noodle jewelry to the big event after the last day of the show. Again, not everybody noticed that she had a necklace made out of penne, but the people who did were blown away. So part of the good kind of weird also has to do with detail, like leave no stone unturned. Everything is a creative opportunity, literally everything.
I love that. You mentioned Jen. How did you get this amazing group of weirdos together, if you will? It's almost like the, I don't want to use the metaphor of the Avengers, but it's an amazing
It really is.
team
That's
of superheroes.
A good metaphor. The metaphor I like is it's kind of like putting together an Ocean's 11 crew. So Jen and I recruited the absolute very best people we knew from our entire careers, and maybe we look young and vibrant, I hope, but we're older than, we're no spring chickens. And so we've been in this business for a long time, and we recruited the best people we could find at every single specialty, and they recruited the best people they could find. So we are kind of building a dream team, and it's one of the many things that's working for us so far.
It's amazing. I know it's so exciting to see the mix of people you have. folks that were, I guess, once maybe competitors, right? That are now
Yes.
co-founders, which is incredible.
Absolutely.
And Gal is great too. And
Yeah.
so, one of my questions for you personally is where is the personal weird connection for you that makes that strategy so kind of endemic to you?
Well, I think the Goodles brand is reflective of our founders and all of our key people, especially early days. And it's a very wide and eclectic mix of influences. So in the great questions that we were discussing before the camera started rolling, you mentioned music.
Yes.
And music is very, very important to us. And one of the exercises we went through, again, very early days where we're coding the DNA of the company and the brand, is we asked our crew to give us a playlist. Like, what does Goodles sound like to you?
Yep.
What should it sound like to you? And the wide range of genres and artists was incredible. And if you think about Goodles as a composite of influences, and every great creative expression is, whether it's a song or a painting or a mac and cheese brand, the ingredients are incredible. Like musical influences on us ranged from the Beatles to David Bowie to jazz musicians to kind of abstract experimental musicians. It's a mile wide. And I think you see that pop up in different ways in our brand.
I have to ask about AI.
Yeah.
And one of the questions.
You mean the steak sauce?
Exactly. A1.
A1. Okay, that's A1. I'm sorry. I was confused.
Good on you. One of my questions is, what can't AI fake when it comes to building something like Goodles?
Yeah, I have fielded this question a lot. In fact, I was having lunch not all that long ago with a kind of an innovation guru, this guy who's really sophisticated, really smart, had a hand in a lot of creations, and right now he's trying to test the limits of what technology can do from like a very, very upstream early stage innovation standpoint. And he asked me point blank, could an AI have created Goodles? And I had two responses. One was a very visceral, emotional, blank no. Absolutely not. And I did use an expletive I won't hear, but blank no, an AI could not have done this. But the more kind of fact-based response is, I don't think so. Goodles is so nuanced. It is so finely crafted. Goodles has a very particular sense of humor, a very particular tone of voice, how we interact with people in our community on Instagram and elsewhere. It's extremely particular. And again, it's a reflection of human beings. And I just don't think AI is there yet in its ability to craft that level of granular personality. It's just not there. And so I don't think AI could have created Goodles. We use it sparingly. Our naming process is incredibly analog, like with ideas written on cocktail napkins and writers' room meetings. Like there's no AI naming our products or doing much of anything in that context. So I don't mean to diminish AI. I respect it. I fear it in many ways. Coming from a creative agency background, it's kind of scary to me. But as far as Goodles is concerned, I think we are on the spectrum of a computer algorithm generated to human. We are way, way over on the human side, and it's just, I think it would be hard to replicate.
I love that. Let's talk about something that AI can't do, which is taste. I'd love to know, you guys have a lot of really interesting flavors, great names.
Yep.
What's a flavor that you secretly want to launch, but you can't?
Oh, man. By the way, let me just answer part of your question.
Sure.
So I'm a co-founder and also a board director. We are a team. And so I, even as co-founder, do not get all of my ideas through, or maybe even most of them. So it's hard. It's tough. It's
Right.
rough and
I mean,
tumble trying to
you-
get ideas through this. So
And you selected a killer team, so
in terms of so there are a lot of flavors I'd love to experiment with. Many of them actually don't necessarily require like pre-boxed R&D development. It's just a way to trick it up after you've already made it. So for example, this is going to sound crazy. Actually, maple syrup is phenomenal with mac and cheese, particularly
never thought.
our Chetty Mac variety. It's incredible. And so I, from time to time, being a weirdo,
I was gonna say that's pretty
that's
weird.
freaking weird. From time to time, being a weirdo, will put a dollop of
Yeah.
maple syrup on my mac with a little salt and pepper. It's incredible. Like
A
you
little
will
savory,
see
a little
stars.
yeah, okay.
We've had someone write in, I can't say his name, but he's a fairly famous actor who we know and musician. He wanted, I think, pineapple something or other mac. And
That's
so,
wild.
so, you do you.
Right.
One of the great things about mac and cheese, and also our particular line of mac and cheese, we have a lot of really interesting flavor varieties, is that it opens up the canvas of experimentation and opportunity. There are so many different cool things you can do
I mean, who
with our
would've
product.
thought?
And actually, if you check out our Instagram platform, it's at All Goodles. You will see that we periodically push out all kinds of recipe ideas, preparation ideas, ways to kind of hack your mac and trick it up in fun ways. So we're trying to help people have fun with it.
You mentioned something, and that's awesome that you guys encourage that experimentation with your consumers and your customers. You mentioned the names, the flavors, kind of almost being signals.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you find that you're attracting? Like, who is your customer, and what's different about them than, let's say,
Yep.
your iconic
Yeah.
competitor?
Well, first of all, we never, well, almost never, I shouldn't say never, we prefer the term fan. So we're trying to
Love
build fans, not customers or consumers, or heaven forbid, targets and users. Oh man. I'm on a mission to cancel those words from marketing lingo. Target and user should never be used to describe a human being. So
Interestingly enough, that's how the AI refers to us when
right.
you're using the user wants
the
to.
user. So I don't want to be a
Exactly.
user. I don't want to be a target. So in terms of our fans, who we love, and the feeling seems to be mutual, thankfully. We design for a sophisticated fan. We are not pandering to soccer moms, and we love soccer moms, by the way. I'll get to those folks in a second. We're not pandering. We're not doing little kiddie stuff.
Yeah.
One of the big, giant incumbent brands in the space does that. The other one is all about back-to-school promotions and the proverbial soccer mom. What's happening is we are winning both of those communities, and I think the way we're doing it is by developing a really high-fidelity, strong signal, awesome offering for late 20s, early 30s trendsetters who may not even have kids yet. And the theory is if you can design something cool enough and interesting enough and compelling enough and oh my God enough and oh no you didn't enough, if you can do that and you can win the 28-year-old who knows all the good bands and all the good artists and all the good movies and hangs out at all the cool places, if you can win that person, that creates a giant magnet that will bring in almost everyone else. And so that's what we're doing. And again, it's working really well. I think if we had very exploitatively, transactionally tried to pander to back to school promotions,
Yeah.
we wouldn't
have
have
hit.
gotten anybody. So that's how we think about it.
Something you said made me think. A lot of that audience, right? That fan that you're trying to build. a young fan, how do you see nostalgia? Because there's something very nostalgic and very modern about Goodles, and so I'm just curious how you've seen this kind of almost like I want to say it's an artificial nostalgia because some of your fans may not have any of that frame of reference. So just curious how that works in your favor.
We think about nostalgia a lot, and first of all, nostalgia is different for folks depending on how old they are, where they grew up, and so nostalgia for me is probably different from nostalgia for you. But Goodles it happens to be a product. Just setting aside the brand elements, the fun names, the colorful designs, the dune buggy, all of that stuff. The food itself is a huge breakthrough. We're talking protein, fiber, nutrients from
everything.
Plants. It's low glycemic index, so you don't get the sugar spike and crash. You don't feel like after eating a box you have to curl into the fetal position and your day is over. And so because the food is so good and so differentiated, we're giving folks who left the category permission to come back. So a lot of the people who are building kind of this Goodles revolution used to eat the other stuff and then quit it. Because of all the obvious reasons. And now they can come back into the category. So that is kind of driving nostalgia because people love mac and cheese. And now you come on back in and they're coming to us for the most part.
One of the, I don't know how much time we have left, but I want to get a couple more questions in.
Yeah.
Until they say,
I got
until they
nothing
roll
but
the red
time.
light.
Let's
Same
go.
Here. I love it. Something, I guess we can talk about what's next. I mean, I'm excited about all the flavor launches, but is there something that's kind of on the horizon that you want to get people excited about and maybe do a little foreshadowing?
So we have a huge new product coming. I can't mention what it is. I'll just say it's really big and really small at the same time. It's something a little smaller.
Sounds weird.
And it's going to be huge. And if you think about the mac and cheese category, there's a huge segment that we're not in yet, and we soon will be. So I would say stay tuned to @allgoodles on Instagram. Sign up for our email comms. It's coming, and it's going to be a game changer. So we have a fantastic, actually two fantastic new products coming that will get us into another part of the segment. We're always thinking about flavor innovation. Our head of R&D, our president of culinary, Molly Mache, is incredible. She is a true magician. And you mentioned taste earlier. She has great taste, great spidey senses. And so she's always thinking about, okay, what would be a good expression for this brand? We've thought about different forms. Like our magic noodle could go into lots of different adjacencies. So we're always thinking about that. Trying to be disciplined, of course. That's why my co-founder and our CEO is so good. I have very severe shiny object syndrome. Like I like shiny objects literally. Like if you held a fish lure in front of me, I'd try to grab it. She's really, really disciplined.
That's great.
And
You need
focused. Absolutely. So she's going to make sure we don't do anything totally nuts. Maybe only a little nuts.
Yeah. Just enough.
So it's a really good mix of vision and ambition, and also really responsible, practical business management. But Goodles is a product company. We set out from the very beginning to make it a product company where we produce and imagine and release incredible products often. I mean, we are, I think we launched 8 or 9 new products just in the last 12 months. Like, that's a lot, especially for a little company like ours. It's a lot. And so stay tuned.
Love to see it and love to hear it. Paul, thank you. Great conversation. Thank you for joining us on Sport Beach. Folks, you heard it here. Stay tuned for all the new innovation coming out of Goodles. If you haven't tried it yet, get on it.
Absolutely.
Paul, you want to share anything else, or want to go get a drink?
Sure. Yeah, I'll stop right there. Yes.
Let's do that.
Thanks for having me. It's
course.
really a pleasure. And just check out all Goodles on Instagram. Go to goodles.com. You can sign up for our email communications and just look for us at wherever you buy mac and cheese in the United States.
Super fun. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you. All right, good stuff.
Awesome, bud.
Okay.
Thank you.